Welcome to AI to AGI to ASI, the podcast where we explore the pivotal moments in artificial intelligence, the evolving relationship between technology and society, and the paths that take us from today's language models toward future general intelligence and beyond. Today, we're unpacking a dramatic standoff at the intersection of AI safety, national defense, and democratic values, a public clash between Anthropic, a leading AI company, and what is now being styled in some government commentary as the Department of War. This dispute isn't about abstract policy wonkery. It's a defining moment in how advanced AI systems are governed, who gets to set the boundaries on their use, and whether corporate moral stances can influence or collide with national security imperatives. At the center of this story is a statement released on February 26, 2026, by Dario Amodei, CEO of Anthropic, outlining the company's perspective on its ongoing discussions with the U.S. Department of Defense, referred to in the statement as the Department of War. In that message, Amodei begins by reaffirming something critical. Anthropic believes deeply in using AI to defend democracies and to counter threats from autocratic adversaries. Claude, Anthropic's flagship large language model, is already integrated into a range of national security tasks, from intelligence analysis to cyber operations, planning, and simulation work. But despite this deep engagement, something fundamental has caused a rift. Anthropic has taken a public stand that there are two specific uses of AI it cannot responsibly support without crossing ethical lines. These are mass domestic surveillance and fully autonomous weapon systems that operate without human oversight. According to Amodei, these aren't ideological objections, they're assessments rooted in what today's technology can and can't safely do. Powerful AI aggregated across vast datasets could automatically compile detailed profiles of individuals' lives, eroding privacy and potentially civil liberties if deployed for nationwide surveillance. And as for autonomous weapons that select and engage targets on their own, Amodei argues that current frontier AI simply isn't reliable enough to make life or death decisions without a human in the loop. Anthropic has insisted that it will continue working with the department and the U.S. Armed Forces so long as those two guardrails remain in place. It has not refused to provide AI for military use broadly. In fact, Claude has been deployed in classified national security missions and was reportedly involved in planning and support for high-stakes operations. This is where the conflict sharpens. The Department of War has responded with an ultimatum. It now insists that any AI vendor must allow the government to use its models for any lawful use without restricting capabilities based on internal ethical policies. The threat is stark. If Anthropic maintains its safeguards, the department says it may remove the company from its systems, potentially designated a supply chain risk, an extraordinary classification normally reserved for adversary foreign companies, and even consider invoking the Defense Production Act to compel compliance. From Anthropic's perspective, these threats are contradictory. On the one hand, the department says Claude is essential to national security. On the other, it suggests that the company's ethical restrictions make it a risk. Anthropic emphasizes that its AI already helps to defend the United States in many contexts, and that responsible use policies have not historically impeded this support. But now the department's insistence on unfettered use threatens to force a choice: drop ethical safeguards or walk away from a major defense partnership. This standoff isn't happening in a vacuum. Across U.S. defense circles, senior officials have been pushing for broader access to advanced AI from commercial labs, under the premise that AI integration is critical to future operations. In recent months, the Pentagon has also signaled the desire to set baseline terms for all contracted AI firms, requiring them to agree to wide-ranging lawful use clauses. No other major AI company has publicly pushed back to the extent that Anthropic has. There are reverberations beyond the immediate government contracting world. Technology reporters and analysts characterize this fight as emblematic of a deeper question: who controls how powerful AI is used in war and peace? The very idea of autonomous systems making lethal decisions or omnipresent surveillance lacking human judgment raises ethical alarms for researchers and civil liberties advocates alike. And while the department says it intends to abide by U.S. law and has denied seeking AI for mass surveillance, observers point out that legal frameworks have not kept pace with generative AI's capabilities, leaving room for interpretation and worry. It's also worth noting the broader trend. AI labs are increasingly entwined with national security agencies, but the terms of those relationships vary. Some companies have agreed to relax safeguards to gain broader access. Anthropic's position, refusing to drop its ethical guardrails despite potential financial and strategic loss, marks a unique stance in a very competitive environment. What happens next is unclear. If negotiations break down, Anthropic has said it would work to enable a smooth transition to another provider so that military and intelligence operations aren't disrupted. The company also expressed hope that the department's leaders will reconsider, preserving the partnership while keeping vital safeguards in place. For observers of the AI world, this episode raises both practical and philosophical questions. Can private companies impose ethical boundaries on technology that has national defense applications? Should governments be able to compel changes to AI policies in the name of national security? And how do democratic values shape the development and deployment of systems that are increasingly powerful and pervasive? As we watch this conflict play out, it serves as a case study in the broader journey from narrow AI systems, tools for specific tasks, toward more general AI capabilities with societal impact. How we resolve these tensions may help shape not just military policy, but the broader norms for AI governance globally. That's our deep dive into the Anthropic and Department of War standoff. It's a story about principles, power, and the limits of technology, and it's a conversation that will likely continue to unfold in the months ahead. Thanks for listening to AI to AGI to ASI. If you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcasts. I'm your host. We'll be back next time to explore the next frontier of artificial intelligence.